The need for evaluation is transversal to organizations. Let's consider the major subsystem of the Altoga model of support to organizations. This slide shows the architecture of the organization. Here are institutions and people that in given context are referred to as agents. They are products and material resources, the objects and process or contracts which reflect business activities and events. There are evaluation needs in all such subsystems, and we have models to support them. The model M450 performance evaluation is part of the subsystem institutions and people and is aimed at the evaluation of employees, that is, the person evaluated is someone from the organization. Yet, there is another model within the subsystem of institutions and people, M535, evaluation of third party, which focus on evaluations of third parties whom the organization relates with, for instance, clients and suppliers, and evaluations that third parties make of our organization, for instance, how clients and suppliers evaluate us. There is also a model for the evaluation of products and resources, as well as another one for the evaluations of process and contracts. It's important to stress that the issue on the evaluation is essential for the quality management systems. Quality certifications require the proper implementation of evaluation systems. For that reason, our models are decisive. Let's focus on this model now. The performance evaluation is a critical activity in human resources management and is aimed particularly at appraising individual and team performances, identifying and taking advantage of the employee's potential, particularly identifying strengths, weaknesses, improvements and training needs, establishing a base of incentives, reinforcement of authority, and adjustment of remunerations. The performance evaluation must be integrated with the goals of the organization. Very briefly, the model performance evaluation comprises the definition of the evaluation process schedule for the organization in its sub-process and questionnaires, in a base of evaluated people and evaluators, in their connection with process, sub-process, and questionnaires, in the recording of responses to the items of questionnaires, in calculation, and in the exploration of the base of information established. Let's also briefly see the base menu of this model. This is the base menu of the model performance evaluation. Evaluations are arranged into processes, which in turn are divided into sub-processes, to which sub-processes are associated type evaluations, that is, questionnaires. There may be questionnaires arranged into professional category, department, and so on. Evaluations are made in the table of evaluations, where the final grade of the questionnaire is. We can jump to evaluation items and view the grades assigned to each employee item by item. There is a set of performance evaluation indexes. There's, for instance, the analysis of codes, grades per organization, unit, goals, and so on. The evaluator can also identify each employee's strengths and weaknesses and then record the training needs, which are further treated in their respective areas. As soon as the evaluation process is complete, its respective grade is placed on the record of the employee. Let's see the definition of process, sub-process, and questionnaires in greater detail. Note that such concepts are common to all the evaluation models mentioned above. In this model, process and sub-process essentially embody the evaluations of groups of people from organizations. For instance, annual evaluations of the following groups: managers, boards, and employees, or the groups Department A, Department B, or any other groups at all. Questionnaires embody groups of items to be evaluated. Items ranging from goals to behavior, items for the attribution of grades, and items for information purposes only. Multiple choices items, for instance. Let's then see the definition of sub-process, process, and questionnaires. Let's start out with the evaluation process, When entering the criteria panel, I choose an evaluation process so we can see what information is necessary to be entered. Let's view a record. And here we have a type of evaluation, usually the evaluation performance process. The identification code of the evaluation action, often sequentially arranged, a designation, in case there is a responsible party, who it is, the period of time, the evaluation rating scale, start and ending dates, and there are fields to enter any additional description as well as remarks. As soon as the process has been set, it's necessary to identify the subprocess that composes it. Moreover, within subprocess, we must also identify the questionnaires that are to be applied, which have to be previously defined. In this specific example, let's see two subprocesses. There is a subprocess regarding managers and another one regarding the remaining collaborators. There are 3 questionnaires for each one of the subprocesses. Let's take a look at the questionnaires then. There is an option which allows us to identify several types of questionnaires. Users are free to create all the questionnaires they may need. In this case, for instance, we have the questionnaire on the evaluation performance for managers. Let's see the items that are part of it. There are several items. Here is the first item regarding general qualifications, and within this very item we have, for example, quality of work, speed of execution, and problem solving. There is a second item related to transversal qualifications, within which are effective communication and customer orientation. Let's see how such items are created. It's necessary to identify a code for each item, in this case, star, if it's about a header item. What the type of item we are talking about? A goal, an item which enters the calculation of the average, a multiple choice item. If there is some qualification associated to it, a description of it, a weight, and minimum and maximum values for the type of item. As for a goal, what its value is. There are also fields to explain the note regarding remarks. Now we can also define our subprocess within questionnaires. To each subprocess, we associate a previously defined questionnaire. We choose the evaluation performance process and view the subprocess. Within the evaluation process, the subprocess code, in this case managers. A designation, a type of evaluation that is a previous set questionnaire, the type of evaluator, the rating scale of the evaluation, the weight, the carry mapping that questionnaires applies to, the responsibility party, a time period, start and ending dates, and there's also field design for descriptions and remarks. In order to associate employees to the evaluation process, we can indicate the preceding process so the system can automatically associate the people to be evaluated. In this model, the people evaluated and evaluators usually are the people from the organization itself. It's necessary to define who's the people evaluated and evaluators are, and who evaluates who. Besides, an evaluated person may have more than one evaluator. The evaluated person also must be registered in the system along with a minimum set of information. Let's see. In order to know who will be evaluated in each subprocess, it's necessary to go to the options available for evaluated people. This is where the employees to be evaluated are found. Let's see which employees are to be evaluated in our evaluated process. We point out the following information on evaluated people. Type of person, in this case it's EM for employees, name, title, internal number, telephone number, extension line number, email, sex, date of birth, education level, nationality, citizenship, identification documents along with their respective data. On the second panel, the questionnaire to be used in the evaluation, the respective evaluator and the data concerning his placement in the organization, admission date, seniority date, career mapping he belongs to and since when, regional career mapping he belonged to, bound, department at organizational level, activity, building, job and occupation. It also has information concerning the termination date. After the questionnaires have been automatically generated to all evaluated people, it's necessary to record the evaluations and responses concerning each item of the questionnaires. It's up to the application to calculate grades and similar data until the final ratified grades are reached. Before the final grades are established, rounding algorithms may be applied to the grades if the organization deems necessary. For instance, based on the organization unit or the evaluator. There may also be changes to grades, as long as justified by whoever is authorized to do so. Here are some details on the treatment of evaluations and the responses concerning questionnaire items. As soon as the evaluations are automatically generated, the employees to be evaluated are then made available. Let's choose our example again, evaluation process of 2011. Okay. And here's the list of the employees to be evaluated. When jumping to items, we see which questionnaire is associated with that employee. In order to assign any grades, let's take a shortcut. Okay. And so we assign the respective grades and the system then calculates the final grade. The final grade is then recorded in the table of final ratified grades. That table, as mentioned above, contains the final grade that may be rounded based, for instance, on the average grade of each department or evaluators. They may also be changed by whoever is authorized to do so, and their respective remarks may be posted as well. In the case of self-evaluation process, self-evaluations may be accessed by the employees through the employee portal, so they can directly evaluate themselves. The following is obtained as a result of evaluations and regarding each person evaluated: grades, strengths, points to be improved, improvement and training needs. There are specific outputs so as to make such information available. Let's see. Grades for statistics purposes shall be analyzed later on. Let's analyze now the listing of strengths and points to be improved. We can filter data per employee, career mapping, content, or evaluation process. In this case, we'll filter per evaluation date. There's, for example, the employee 3001, Mary Jane De Silva May, whose main strengths are the ability to hard work, dedication, and responsibility. Among the points to be improved are increasing her attention span to details and improving her presentation skills. It's also possible to view the listing with training needs that evaluators have detected so far. Such information is very important as it may serve as a base for defining the company's training program. In addition to the results, linked to each evaluated person, overall results are available, namely general statistics. Given the importance of quotas in many employee evaluation systems, this issue is also taken into account in this application. Let's see. Let's now see the grade distribution by quotas. We choose our evaluation process once again. The listing shows the number of employees distributed as per evaluation grades. That is, for instance, the rating scale good assigned to 3 people. However, there is a quota of 10%, which means there is a deviation of term of the initial quota set for that case. Moving on to general statistics, there is a set of indexes according to the type of item, grades, goals, and multiply answers. Let's take grades as an example. We choose our evaluation process once again and click on the OK. The system shows us the average grade of evaluations for department, career mappings, and questionnaires. There's always the possibility of going back to the criteria panel and aggregate or disaggregate more this information. As an example, I can remove information from the career mapping and choose to display information about the items so as to see which item we are evaluated the best and the worst. Here we have the respective average displayed by item and department. We have presented in this video the model performance evaluation, along with the necessary details for a first assessment by your organization. We stress the possibility that this model may be implemented independently regardless of the system you are currently using, as this model is available on the web in cloud computing. From our service, no on-site installation is needed either. Furthermore, we remind you that the dialogue can be deepened so we can better analyze your needs and our answers to them. We and the network of partners we integrate are fully prepared to listen and support you.